You're listening to the Telltale Channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. The next article I wanted to take a look at is entitled, "Christian Extremists Insist Homosexuality is a Way Bigger Sin Than Slavery." This is by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist website, so let's give it a read and see what it says. Slavery was bad. Being gay is apparently worse. That's a conclusion from Scott Lively, one of the inspirations behind Uganda's infamous Kill the Gays bill in 2014, which criminalized homosexuality in some cases with the death penalty. He made the comment on Sunday during his Breaking News Bible study program with co-host and pastor Richard May. Let's watch the video and see what he says in it.
For me, the Bible is clear that slavery is an unfortunate event, but so are bad kings and wars and famines, and that it's not something to lose your mind over.
Right. Well, that's true. And people find themselves in, look, my father was very severely mentally ill. My family was destroyed by his behavior. Now, I could spend the rest of my life sitting in a chair and crying about what a terrible lot I got in life, but I didn't. And I overcame my adversities, and I've forgiven my father,
Do you see Italians today suffering from the discrimination on the war on mafia?
Or for having been slaves in the South, right? The Italians were brought in as slaves too, in significant for a while.
So there is a perspective in all of this. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is that from a biblical point of view, there are...
Okay, let me just pause there real fast. I can't let that go undebunked. So what they're saying is that Italians were enslaved back in the, in the 1800s, 1700s also. Unfortunately, there were a lot of different demographics who were enslaved. It's a sad situation to see, but either way, I don't think anybody is saying that slavery is the reason why people of color or African Americans are oppressed today. I'm sure that added to it. That's not really what we're saying right now. What we're saying is up until 1965, they didn't have the same rights as white people. Like, people keep saying, oh, slavery was a long time ago. They got to get their shit together. Yeah. Okay, slavery was 150 years ago or so, right? But you have to remember, in some places, Jim Crow laws still exist. The Civil Rights Amendment wasn't signed until 1964, I think, and the country wasn't even desegregated until 1955. And it wasn't desegregated by force, like in practice, until later. These demographics of people have been seriously oppressed up until very, very recently. How can you say that a country that just desegregated like 50, 60 years ago, is over racism now? It's done. It's over. There's nothing else we have to do. Everybody's equal when we're done with oppression. That's it. There are people alive today whose grandparents were slaves. I'm just saying. It was not that long ago. Anyways, let's continue listening.
Things much worse. For example, which is worse biblically, polygamy or witchcraft?
Obviously, the answer to this is witchcraft, because polygamy was pretty common in the Bible, weirdly. That's why I find it so extremely strange that Christians are so serious about one man, one woman. Like, it wasn't always like that. I'm not sure why they're so serious about it now.
Witchcraft by far.
By far, yeah.
All right.
Polygamy is actually accommodated in the Mosaic law.
Exactly. Now I'm going to hit a nerve with this one. Which is worse, slavery or homosexuality?
Homosexuality by far.
Wow. Okay, now we come to the conclusion here. So they're saying that homosexuality is worse than slavery, according to Bible principles. I agree. According to Bible principles, Homosexuality is worse than slavery. They're using this as some kind of a gotcha, like, oh, you thought slavery was bad, well, being gay is even worse. No, this is a gotcha for them. You guys are pieces of fucking trash. That's the conclusion I just came to. You guys are, look at these shit-eating grins on their faces. You guys are pieces of fucking garbage. Listen to these guys. Jesus Christ, man. Let's listen to the rest of the video.
By far.
I mean,
And I think that's something that we need to herald that. I mean, come on, guys. Our priorities are all mixed up.
Our priorities are all mixed up. We need to herald that. Homosexuals should be ashamed because they're worse than slave owners. Wow, man. How do you justify that in your head? Seriously, this is the morality that comes out of the Bible. Do you want to say that morality is objective? You want to say that morality is objective? This is the objective morality that you get from the Bible. This is it. That's what you want. Take it. You're a piece of garbage. There is no justification for this. I don't even know what to say about these guys. They are nuts. All right, let's read the article here. May opened up by saying slavery was unfortunate, quote unquote, but plenty of other things were worse. Here's a quote. There's a perspective in all of this, May continued. From a biblical point of view, there are things much worse. For example, which is worse biblically, polygamy or witchcraft? Witchcraft by far. Now I'm going to hit a nerve with this one, he continued. Which is worse, slavery or homosexuality? Homosexuality by far, Lively replied. By far, May agreed. And I think it's something we need to herald. I mean, come on, guys. Our priorities are all mixed up. That's because the Bible was pro-slavery. The Bible was pro-slavery. There are only 6 verses in the Bible that are anti-homosexuality, and I would argue that only 2 or 3 of those are genuinely against what we know today as homosexuality. It was a little bit different back then. But you know what? Fine. The Bible was against homosexuality. I'll accept that. I'll take it. It was wrong. The Bible was wrong. It was incorrect. It was a tribalistic bullshit book written by tribalistic bullshit people. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that these people are arguing for slavery and against homosexuality. Give me a fucking break, seriously. Let's see what else Heman Mehta had to say here. The only possible silver lining here is that they're basing their response on what's in the Bible. God allows slavery, but God condemns men who lay with men, as opposed to their own thoughts. But to then proclaim this answer needs to be heralded suggests both men really believe this today. It should go without saying that forced slavery isn't even comparable to a sexual orientation you don't choose. Doesn't hurt anyone and isn't bad. But Lively and May are so full of bigotry that no historical travesty holds a candle to the imaginary gay boogeyman in their mind. I don't even know what to say about this. You want objective morality to be true. You want to get your morality from the Bible. This is it. Anybody of sound mind can tell you slavery is wrong. Tribalistic bullshit hatred for any group based on some arbitrary attribute about them is wrong. Anybody of sound mind, capable of reasoning, can tell you that's just straight up fucking wrong. These guys obviously can't manage to come to that conclusion.